afternoon. My name is Jennifer Sills Almeida. I will be working with IBM SPSS Statistics, and I will show you how to input variables into tables in order to get data. The first thing you need to do is click on the statistics. You will need to go to File, New, and you're going to open a data screen. The first step in this process would be to create the variables, and on the data view, in order for it to show up, you'll first have to put in those variables. So the data view will be the numbers based on the variables that you have. So you start over here, and what you'll want to do is, first of all, you'll need to do the naming. So for this one, I will be putting in teacher ID. Please note that there can't be any spaces. You can put underscores right here just so you can actually break up the word so it's two separate words and one characteristic. The type for this would be numeric, and the reason it is because you'll put a teacher ID number as numeric. The width will be 8 in regards to, it'll be 8 numbers or less. Decimals you can change to 0 because there will not need to be decimals. For the labels, what you will do is you will give a brief description on what it is. So in this situation, I would put ID number of teachers. So that would be the teacher ID number, or actually teacher ID number. And then what you would do is, for the next one would be values. There will be no missing values, so you would put none. For missing, again, that would be none. For the column width, it will be 8. We can increase it or decrease it depending on if that needs to be changed. Now for the alignment, you can click left, right, or center. So in this situations, for the numbers, we are going to go ahead and right align it. For the measure, since this is a number that we are going to use, for the scale would be the best area to start for the scale of measurement. So you would put scale there, and that will allow you to show like the different scores of variable. Like in here for the teacher, since it's a number, the scale would be the best fit. The next one that you'll want to do and stuff for the next variable, so the teacher ID was the first variable. The second variable will be name. So that will be the actual name of the teacher. And this one would be string. Now, the reason why this is a string variable is that it stores text. So you would click on this area and you would change it to string, and you would hit OK. Over here, the width, since there will be more characters in a name, possibly you would go ahead and put it to 12. Then for the decimals, you won't need decimals since it's a name. For the name description of the label would be the name of teacher, so you would put name of teacher here. For the values would be none. There will be no missing values, would be set as none. Now for the columns and stuff, what you could do for the spacing, you could change it a little bit higher to like 13, or you can keep it the same. Since we are doing a string of characters as text, I would align it left. And this one, what it would be nominal since it is a name, and that is done. For the role for both of these is input. The next category would be gender, so we would write in gender right here. For this one, since it is a name, we would still keep it as string, so we would put string right here, change that to string. And for 8 bytes, the longest one would be either female or male, so that would be the proper width. For female, it's the longest, and that's 6, so 8 should be fine. We will not have any decimal points here. For this one, for the label, we could just put gender, so it would be gender of the teacher right here. We would indicate that. Now for over here, if we want to do values, the values, what we can do is represent 1 for males and 2 for females. So we would click here. When we add the values, we put value 1 right here. So you would put 1, and it would be, type it in as male. And then to add another one for the females, you would put 2. And this will be an indicator for females. It's a numerical indicator. And then after that, you would have to hit the OK button in order for it to save appropriately. So the next one and stuff would be for the missing. We would have none. Columns should be fine as 8. We'll go ahead and stuff, and it'll be fine to left align this one. And for this one, for the gender and stuff, we'll keep it at nominal, and input is the same. The fourth variable that we will have would be for the age. So this would be the age, for the age of the teacher. So here is shorthand under the name column. Later on for the label, we can be more descriptive. For the type, what we're going to have is, since it is a number, numeric would be the best category to put this under. So you would hit OK. The width for the age, you can keep it at 8. That's fine. Or you can lower it, but right now 8 should be fine. For decimals, we do not need any decimals because we're just putting the age of years of the teacher. So, and in the label area, we'll put age of teacher right here. So we have that information. Missing values, that will be none. For the values, none. For the columns, 8 should be fine for that spacing. Right here, I would align it since it is a number for the alignment. For the measure, what that would be scale, just like a teacher ID, and age is a number, so that is based on a scale. So the final variable would be the fifth one, and that would be for education. So this is the education level. So what for the teacher? So what we're going to put here to shorthand it, just put education. Again, it'll be numeric because, like the gender, we're going to assign a value to it. In the column that's under values, 8 should be fine. Decimals, again, we do not need any decimals because there will be no decimals after the number. For the teacher education level, we can be more descriptive, so we can put here teacher education level. And for the values, what we're going to want to do is click inside here. Like I said before, we're going to have to add values. This is going to be for an education. So does the teacher have a bachelor's degree, master's degree, or doctorate degree? So based on these values, 1, we can go ahead and put 1 in here. We can assign that as a bachelor's degree. So put bachelor's degree. Then we can add another value, and that one is going to be for a master's degree. So put 2 as master's degree. And the final one would be 3, and we can put a doctorate degree. Now, the reason why we didn't put associate's degree, because most teachers are all going to have some sort of degree starting with a bachelor's degree. So that is why we have it set as 1 bachelor's, 2 master's, and 3 is going to be a doctorate degree. So based on this, that's how we'll code it when we go into the data view. You hit OK to save this information. And for the education, now we have it. We have none because we have no missing values. We're putting that in there here. And then the columns, the spacing of 8 is fine. We're going to go ahead and write alignment, line it, because it is going to be a number. And for this, we're going to pick ordinal for measure. Now, the reason we're picking ordinal for measure and stuff is based on the fact that we're rating the education. So this data is being rated from 1 to 3. So ordinal would be the appropriate signifying measure right here. Now, as you see here, these are all the variable views. So we have 5 variables. Now we're going to go ahead and input the data for each. So for each teacher, now we're going to go through it and put that data in across the board. So let's go to data view. As you can see, what we have here are the 5 variables here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are listed as teacher ID, name, gender, age, and education. So what we would do is first start with an ID. So an ID is a number, so we would put, the first one could be just 1,000, right? And then we would put the name. So the name could be, the first name could be Miguel. So we would type in Miguel. The gender, we'll go ahead and put what it is. Since it's a male, we're going to assign it as a 1, as previously discussed. The age, we can put it as 55. So that's the age of that teacher. And then the education, again, we assigned it a number. Say, assuming that they have a bachelor's degree, it would be a 1. Now let's go to the next teacher. The next teacher would be 1001 for the teacher ID code. You would put the next teacher, could be Jen. Then the gender, it's a female. So what do? Remember, 1 is male, 2 is female, so we'll put it 2 for the females. The age, go ahead and put it as 45. That's the age of the teacher. And the education, if this teacher has a doctorate degree, so we would put a 3 under education. Remember, 1 for bachelor's, 2 for master's, 3 for doctorate degree. The next teacher would be the teacher ID of 1002. That teacher's name is going to be Jacob, and that gender would be a male, so we would put a 1 for that. The age would be 30, and for the education, this teacher has a master's degree, so we would put a 2 in that area. The next one would be the ID number 1003. This teacher's name is Maria. Maria is actually female, right? So she will be under the number 2. She is 65 years old, and she has a bachelor's, so we would put 1 there. The next ID code is 1004. For 1004 that we have, it's going to be Caroline. Caroline is a female, so we'll put the number 2 there. The age for Caroline is 68, so we put that in there. And her degree level is a doctorate, so we'll put a 3 there. The next number we have is 1005, so that is the teacher ID number. The name is Larry, and the education, or the gender, would be male, so we would put 2 there. And the age would be 50, so we would put in 50. And for actually the education level now, it is a bachelor, so we'll just put a 1 right there. The next one would be the teacher ID 1006. The name of that teacher would be Ethan, so we would put that in that category. It's a male, so we would put it in 1. The age is 40, so we would put that Ethan's 40 years old there. So for the education, he has a master's degree, so again, master's degree is the number 2 assigned. 1007. The next one we have would be Sarah, so we would put Sarah's name. She's a female, so we would put the number 2 in there for under Sarah. She is 47, and her degree is a master's, so we would put a 2 there. The next one would be 1008 for the teacher ID number, and the name of the teacher is Jason. So for Jason, he would be assigned a number of 1 under gender because it is a male. The age would be 33, so we would put 33 in there, and the education is a bachelor, so we would put 1 there. The next one would be assigned a number of 1009. 1009, the name would be Christine, so we would put Christine. That's the name. As you can see, the values and stuff coincide, and there's enough values for that. If you put in for the gender, it's a female, so it would be number 2, and the age would be 28, and this individual, she actually has a master, so we would put the number 2 in there. We also have one more, and this one is going to be Bob. Bob is a male, so we'll put 1 for Bob. And what we'll do is we'll need to put that age. The age is 59 over here, and he has a doctorate, so it will be 3. So as you can see, we have all of this data in here. These are the numbers. This is the specific data for this view. The variable views are all our variables, which are 5 variables. So if we wanted to save this, we will need to save it appropriately. What we could name it is DSHS teacher demographics, level of education. We would put that in there, and we would hit save. We would have to make sure that .sav is at the end. As you can see under save as type, it's SPSS statistics.sav. So that shows this information. We hit save. And as you can tell, we did have at least 10 cases, which were 11 here. So that is something I wanted to ensure that you see that in the data. We just saved it. Also, what I would like to show you is how to run the basic frequency analysis of verified data entry. So what we'll need to do now is let's go to Analyze. What we're trying to make sure in the frequencies is that we don't have any unexpected values like 99 or any missing numbers or any gaps or dots in cells. So what we'll need to do is go to descriptive statistics, go to frequencies. And when you do this, you can put several of the information. So if you wanted to put in the gender, we're tracking that, the age of teachers, how old the teachers are they male or female, and also what is their education level. So if we wanted to check these three things, then what we could do and stuff is go to statistics, and you could click mean, median, mode, hit continue. You can also do the charts if we wanted to add some pie charts based on which teachers have which degree level and how old they are. For this one, we would hit continue, and we would hit OK. Okay, so now as you see the statistics and stuff, it shows you the information. There's none missing. We have valid numbers here. We have the age of teachers here. We have the teacher levels. Over here for the age and stuff, it has all the valid ages here. It has the percentage for each one. For the degrees, it shows the teacher education level. So the frequency, it shows how many have bachelor's, master's, doctorate. So 4 had bachelor's degrees, 4 had master's degrees, 3 had doctorate degrees. Now it breaks it up into a pie chart showing the gender of teacher. So the males were in blue, the females are in this magenta color, dark red. And this shows you obviously that there are more females than there are males. Next one, if you look at the age of the teacher, it shows you, it has a breakdown of the different colors, starting with this blue, like this sky blue color, and it shows that's 28, the magenta is 30, the dark color purple would be 40. So this just shows you the different ages of the teacher. And something, if we were trying to look at which teachers and how old they are and what actually was their level of education, here it explicitly shows you the level of education. And this block right here in that sky blue, it shows the teachers that have a bachelor's degree. So most of them have a bachelor's degrees, then master's degree, and then some have the doctorate degree. Not as many as the other two. So this gives you an idea of really how to look at the frequency analysis and also how to read all of the graphs. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I will be making more videos, but I just wanted to give you this information. I hope you have a wonderful day, and this helps you in understanding what it is about. Thank you very much. You have a great day.